shoutouts.vegas today and make your next career move.
All right.
Sponsored by the Vegas Chamber, aired in cooperation with the Nevada Broadcasters Association.
Where's everybody? Where's everybody in here today? There they are. Kenny Clark and
Kenny's the number one.
Kenny's always in there. We appreciate that. We got to give some prizes away. You know, when I get to 10,000 subs, I'm going to start giving stuff away. And the people who have been here from the beginning, I don't know when you subscribed, but we'll do something. All right, Amari Cooper just quit on the team. I would think retiring is quitting. Can we lower that a bit? And then
I got the question and the answer.
okay, good. We'll have that ready. I don't have an answer on Amari Cooper. You know, he's being like Gar said, Cooper being Cooper.
We found this firm for you. We're the Castelli Brothers, and we have your back.
Brotherswin.com. We are a full go on football betting, and the best way to do it is to sign up today for a new William Hill
All right.
mobile sports account.
We welcome Volvo to the show, right, Bobby? Volvo. We got a car company now. How cool is that?
Never miss another bet. William Hill has the largest wagering menu.
What else do I have to say?
Cash out and live in-play wagering.
Oh, today is my 26th wedding anniversary. Today. How about that? I have my 22-year-old with me. So, yeah, 26 years of wedding bliss. Been a good run. Still is a good run. There are the Chiefs in São Paulo, Brazil. Let's do a radio show.
This is Brock Bowers of Las Vegas Raiders, and you're listening to JT the Brick on Raider Nation Radio.
It's the JT the Brick Show. You know, we're going to have a lot of positive energy. The guys that love to compete and play with passion are going to have a chance at the place. Your silver and black home to sound off for over 25 years.
Man, I'm loving it, man. They're making my job tremendously easy to be out here with these young, talented players, man. I think we have a really good team. I'm super excited. I'm already loving this fan base, so I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
And now, here's JT the Brick.
Out of the gate, JT with you. Countdown to the Patriots road trip. And believe me, the Raider Nation is going. The black hole is going. The black hole in New England will be there. It's go time. It's really go time. My Thursday, Friday shows are typically my best shows because we count down to the game and we are closer to the game. So starting next week, we'll recap the game on Monday. Hopefully it's a W. And if it's a loss, well, I've done a few of those shows, but I'm hoping for a win. And then we'll put in our insiders for the Chargers because, man, we had good insiders this week and we're not done. And then we'll get ready for Monday Night Football. We got a long week next week. Everything gets pushed back a day. My interview with Coach Carroll, which you'll hear today. Pete Carroll joins us through my interview with him. We'll play that at some point today. And we got a lot to get to. So we got a nice audience. If you want to join us, we are YouTube only today, not Twitter, YouTube. So everybody who likes to watch, go to YouTube, JT the Brick YT, and watch the show. And maybe you'll get some clues from me if I'm a little bit snarky or if I got something to say or if I roll my eyes about Amari Cooper. On radio, you can't tell if I'm rolling my eyes, but if you're looking at me, you can see if I'm rolling my eyes about Amari Cooper. So when I found out about this morning, I didn't go to Twitter. I didn't run to Twitter to be breaking news boy. I'm not breaking news boy. My buddy I do my podcast with, Looney, his nickname is News Boy because he does the news. He does updates during the news. We call him News Boy. I'm not News Boy. I'm not here to break news. That's Ian Rappaport. If Vinny wants to do that, I don't break news. I don't break death. I don't break anything. I'm just a bloviating sports talk host that goes faster than all the shows you watch. I don't waste your time. I don't do bits. I don't kill 20 minutes saying hello to everybody. Bobby and I just wave to each other. We don't have to do 5 minutes of warm up here. We go fast, like we'd like the Raiders to do. Get out of the huddle quickly, go fast. And when I found out, as I'm looking at my text today, that Amari has informed the team this morning that he is retiring, leaving. Okay, so I had that probably before Ian Rappaport, probably before Adam Schefter. I think I did, but I just sat back. I got in a swim today, Today is my wife and I's 26th wedding anniversary. We got married on September 4th, 1999. How about that? And Amari Cooper's not going to ruin my day. But I was on the Jesse Merrick podcast yesterday, Jesse Merrick's podcast, and I told him, in Oakland, Amari was kind of miserable. He was never happy in Oakland. Then he had a press conference here. I did not attend that because I was hosting the show. And in front of everybody, all of our insiders, Amari had a press conference, and he was happy. And they asked him at the press conference if he wants to be a leader. Does he want to be a leader to the young guys? Yes, he said everything right. Now he's out. So I'm going to be careful with this one because I don't know if it's mental health or not. It's none of my business. Remember last year, Jacobe Meyers had a personal issue. None of my business. I don't know what's going on in Amari Cooper's life. It could be very serious. There could be something going on. Or he might have just quit. And don't let me find out he quit. Don't let me find out he quit. I'm going to find out if he quit. I can promise you I'm going to find out today before the sun sets if he quit or not. I'm not looking to know now. I'm not blowing up my bosses at the Raiders. Tell me I'm needy. Let me know. But I will find out if he quit because I don't like quitters. Davante Adams quit on the Raiders. Randy Moss quit on the Raiders. Some people want to justify it. Well, Randy Moss, I watched Randy Moss lay on the bench in front of me. Remember Micah Parsons did that? You see him with the Cowboys anymore? No. He laid down on the training table. I watched Randy Moss do it in Oakland. I was there. I saw it. Davante Adams said he wanted to have his grandma watch him play in Vegas. He quit. He quit. He could have waited to the end of the year, and he could have played wherever he wanted. Wherever he wanted, the Rams, Chargers, wherever he wanted him, Davante could have went anywhere. He quit. And now it looks like Amari quit, retired, but I don't know because here's why he might not have quit. They used the roster spot for him. Oh boy. I don't know if everybody was on the same page with bringing in Amari Cooper here. I don't know that because I am not in meetings with the staff. I'm in meetings with the media staff and we talk. We travel together. We hang out. I have cigars with Lincoln Kennedy. I have beverages. I talk to people. But Amari Cooper's name didn't come up. And as I told Jesse Merrick, Amari Cooper was a hell of a player in this league. And I would say the same thing about Antonio Brown. John Gruden thought he was one of the best players ever when he came to the Raiders. Ever. Not one of the best players in the league. No, one of the best players ever. He quit. Wow, Bobby, do we have a quitting scale like a bell? Every time I mention, I forgot, Antonio Brown quit. I can't believe I didn't get that in the monologue. So we got Davante quit, Antonio Brown quit, Randy Moss quit, and we're waiting to find out if Amari quit. Don't know. Don't have the answer. Maybe Chew will after I'm done. I don't know. Everybody has different opinions here. But if you quit, that'll be your legacy. That'll be your legacy. If you quit in sports, Scottie Pippen quit in a game. With 2 seconds, he wouldn't go into the game, and people still to this day call Scottie Pippen a quitter. He's one of the best basketball players ever. Scottie Pippen was great. You know how many championships Jordan would have won without Pippen? Wouldn't have been 6. It wouldn't have been 5. No, I won't say 0. He would have won, but it wouldn't have been more than LeBron. I can tell you that. So do I want to waste the rest of my day as I'm counting down to the Patriots on Amari Cooper? Do I really want to spend the rest of this broadcast talking about, the unknown, we don't know why he quit, or if he retired? Now, he might have retired. What happens with a lot of these older players is they show up, they start working out, they start going to meetings, and they don't have it. They don't have it. And if he retires because he didn't have it, and he realized that, and he has a press conference or says to someone on a podcast that, look, I couldn't do it. I thought I could. I thank the Raiders. I thank you, the Raiders, for bringing me back. I had a couple of practices. I just don't have it. I'm good. And then if you want another receiver, you go open up a spot, go get him, bring someone off the practice squad or go bring someone else in. I'm good with that. Okay, so again, we don't know if this is a mental health issue or not. We don't, because he's always miserable. I said that on the record, and if you're a Raider fan, if you were sitting in Mount Davis in Oakland or you had a sideline pass, you knew that Amari Cooper was a miserable-looking human being. But he was kind of an all-ball guy. He just wanted to play football. He just never smiled. He never just was like happy and cracking jokes. That wasn't him. So he is a really difficult person to read. But I'll tell you, I'm disappointed he's not on the team because, as I said the other day, 3rd and 7 with Jacobe Meyers out wide, Amari Cooper in the slot, Michael Mayer, Brock Bowers, Trey Tucker lined up wide, and Dante Thornton or Jack Bash. That's pretty good. Oh, I forgot Ashton Genty in the backfield. That's a pretty good offense. So Amari Cooper was, in my mind, I thought Amari Cooper was the 3rd receiver. He was going to be number 3. So Jack Bash goes back to being number 3 or 4. Look, Dante Thornton and Jack Bash were drafted in the 2nd and 4th round. They're going to be your 3rd and 4th receiver. If Dante Thornton has an unbelievable year, he can move up to number 2. Now, we decided to play this with Jacobe Meyers, who in the scrum. So is this a distraction? I had someone text me today saying, is this a distraction? I said, good question. I mean, when you quit 3 days or retire 3 days before the season starts, and Ian Rappaport and Adam Schefter are talking about it, Schefter on ESPN, that could be considered a distraction. It's on ESPN and NFL Network. Players go by the cafeteria and see this. Could that be a distraction? I don't think with this team because of Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll's been around the block 100 times. You'll hear my conversation coming up with him. Pete's fine. Now, if this was Max Crosby saying I'm going to retire, if this was Max saying press conference I'm retiring, or Gino saying I had a bad practice I'm retiring, different story. A little bit different. I think we'd agree. But here's what Jacobe Meyers said, and I'm a Jacobe guy. We had Tom Curran on yesterday. He said, can we get Jacobe back to New England? New England wants Jacobe Meyers in a trade badly. They loved him. And Jacobe has a a locker room scrum. And everybody wants to know what his theory is about going forward because he doesn't have a new contract or an extension.
There were reports about, asking for a trade. Where are things with that? And how do you separate, the business side from going out there and playing?
I asked, they said no. And that's kind of, that's where that stopped. But, I mean, I'm just keep doing my job until something shake out either way, honestly. I don't know which way it's going to go, but I'll be ready for whatever.
Are you pretty confident that something will work out here?
I wouldn't say I'm pretty confident. Like I said, I really don't know where it's going to go. But I know, like I said, I'm ready. I'm ready to go if you want me to go. I'm ready to play if you need me to play.
Are you happy here?
Am I happy? It's a job. At the end of the day, like I'm happy to be doing my job with my boys, but I could be happy anywhere.
Everybody knows the kind of worker you are, what you do every day. Like, how hard is it to do that, knowing that there's business things here, like, well, that's not being taken care of. Like, what am I doing on my side?
I mean, it's not too hard, honestly, because I spend most of my time in here or on the field. So it's out of my mind until probably for like 30 minutes of my day. I'm like, hold on, I didn't get paid yet. But for the most part, like, I'm cool. Like, I'm chilling.
Yeah, I think he's cool and he's chilling. He wants new money. He's going to get new money at some point. He's a good player in the league. Well, he asked for it and they said no. He said that, not me. He asked for a contract extension through his agent. Raiders said no. That comes from the player, unless someone, John Spidek, wants to say something else. But Jacobe seems to be pretty cool. So we'll see what happens. We need Jacobe. Jacobe's really important around here. 1,000+ yard receiver with no drops, that's important. He can have a big game and break out in any game he plays. So when he said he could be happy playing, so as I talked to Bobby as we were prepping the show, you got one receiver, Jacobe Meyers, said, I could be happy playing anywhere. And then you got another receiver who retired today. That's pretty big. That's pretty significant, I think. So, but Jacobe said at the end of the soundbite, he's cool. He's good. He's ready to go. And he said he's always there. He is. He's always there. And he has a great relationship with everybody, all of his teammates, his boys, as he said. So that's it. I got someone here on my chat saying, JT, I need answers on Cooper. I don't have them. I'm not Amari Cooper's mom. I can't tell you why he retired or quit. I can't tell you. Go to a podcaster who will speculate and guess, but they don't have a key card into the building. I don't talk about people's personal lives, their money, but I want to find out if Amari Cooper quit. And you might know before me. Maybe you see him at the airport. Maybe you see him in line at Starbucks. Maybe you see him returning his rental car. And you say, hey, Amari, did you quit or retire? And he'll tell you and you can tell me. So he's gone, right? He's gone. And it's on to the next receiver who's going to jump in. You understand, Bobby, why I always say for years until this year, because I don't want Pete Carroll to take it the wrong way. You understand why I'm not the show of the practice squad?
Yeah.
I want to talk about the players who are available to play, who can be Pro Bowlers or already Pro Bowlers. That's it. That's all I want to do. I want to find out who are the good players that can go to the Pro Bowl, who are the Pro Bowlers that we can re-sign, and then who are we developing that might be good and not be a Pro Bowler but can help the team. That's it. This is pretty easy stuff, is Rod Woodson. I did a new podcast with Rod Woodson, one of the greatest players of all time, last night. That's going to drop at some point this week. And his big theory in life and football is really simple. Chuck Noll told him early in his career, and Chuck Noll's a Hall of Fame coach, football's really simple if you follow a certain amount of rules. It is. It's really simple for the great ones. Others, it's a little bit complex. Like for Max Crosby, the game is very simple. Where's the quarterback? Where's the ball? I'm going to go get it. I'm going to seal the edge. I'm going to do my job. I think we all agree here. I mean, don't we all agree that having Amari Cooper would have been nice? He's better than Tommy Millott. Okay? He's better than Tommy Millott. But maybe Tommy Millott could have been developed more and could have stayed around. I don't know. But I wanted Amari Cooper to play because I know that Amari Cooper made so many big plays in this league. From Cleveland to Dallas. He didn't play well at Buffalo. And I know one of my Buffalo boys are probably watching, my buddy Roxy. Congratulations to the text group I'm in. I'm sure you have text groups. I have one, like the Buffalo Boys, I call it. And they told me Amari was washed. He's a season ticket holder in Buffalo. They said he's washed. He's lost more than a step. And I said, well, I'm not going to say that on the radio. He's washed. He's a Raider. But we'll see when he played. And we're not going to see Amari Cooper play. It's unfortunate because I still, from time to time, see an Amari Cooper jersey. You go to a Raider game, you see Amari Cooper jersey in the stands at Allegiant. I don't think we'll be seeing any more Amari Cooper jerseys down the road. All right, everybody wants to get in, so let me wrap up the monologue, which we always bring to you by Golden Entertainment. They own the Strat. All of the casino properties that we represent have football activations. The Strat has a good one because they have a William Hill Sportsbook. So you can go into their PTs there that they have. You can go anywhere into the Strat. I would recommend their Sportsbook, which is really nice, and go watch the games or go to any of the 70 taverns, the PTs that are in town. PTs fuels the monologue. You're going to be there tonight for the Cowboys and the Eagles. That's a big game, really big game. I mean, if the Cowboys pull an upset here, it would be one of the biggest upsets of the year if the Cowboys can win this game. Lee Sterling will be picking games for us in 30 minutes. He didn't have a great week, but all the sharps got killed. Everybody lost in gambling. Do you see how many people lost gambling? Oh, my God. I think Lee was 1-2. We'll have him on. Vince Sapienza from our morning host. He joins us every other Thursday. We're going to have him on. I'm really excited about that. Greg Bedard, who's a great New England Patriot insider. So we gave you Tom Curran yesterday. We're going to give you Greg Bedard today. And then tomorrow, Andy Gresh, who's another really good one. Wow, we had a big week on that. Big week on doing what we do, getting the other side of the conversation. So excited about that. And then tomorrow we have the Dean of the Newsmen, Chris Matthews. We'll have Johnny Katz coming up soon, our entertainment reporter. Everybody's talking about the Wizard of Oz. The Wizard of Oz. It looks good. I love the Wizard of Oz as a kid. I'll go see that. And there's some big things happening. So what I want to do every Thursday and Friday, if you can help me, please, I want this show to be insanely passionate and over the top. Okay, I want it to be really aggressive, really intense, a lot of football. How are the Raiders going to win the game? By Thursday's the day we put in the game plan. So what I'd like from you today, if you're going to call us 702-365-9200, I want you to be ready to come in as we open the show up here and tell me what you think the game plan should be. And please be specific. It's either going to be one of three things. Ready? Ashton Genty, that's your game plan. Brock Bowers, or our defense is going to win the game. That's what I see. It's either going to be Ashton Genty has an explosive breakout game week 1. Brock Bowers leads off where he did last year, or something cool is going to happen on the defense. What's the game plan to win? Stoner Dude, my buddy. How are you, pal? Thanks for checking in. Thanks for joining us.
I'm Rad JT. Thanks for having me on. First I want to address Amari Cooper. And this is not a hater's opinion. This is just someone who's seen his whole career. When he was with the Raiders originally, he wanted out for a long time. It was in his body language. It's in his face. It's in his eyes. And he left. And frankly, I wish him all the best. I hope he has a great retirement, a happy, healthy future with him and his family. But, man, if you don't got the passion for football to go out there on the field and knock heads, man, to go out there and jump balls and go get the ball and fight, then you're not on the team, man. And frankly, when he came back here, I have to say, I was just like, well, we'll see what happens. And, well, we saw what happened. And, we got Pete Carroll with all this energy. We got the players, these young guys. I can't wait to see these new young receivers from what I saw in a preseason to go out there and make plays with their heart. And when it comes to the game, JT, this is against the Patriots. I am a Patriot hater for many, many years. I have loved nothing more to see them go out there and give it to Josh McDaniels. But the way they're going to do it, JT, is go get that young quarterback, Drake Mays. Go send Max Crosby, send everybody out there. Go get them. Because if they're not going to score points, we're going to win. That's all we got to do, man. And lastly, JT, tonight, here in Las Vegas, at Backstage Bar and Billiards, I will be I'll tell you what's my rock. What you said in the monologue about Genty, Bowers, and Crosby. 2 things I want to see, JT. And you talked about it all last season. I think this is the way we win a lot of our games. Urgency. I want to see urgency on offense. I want to see urgency on defense. I want to see aggressiveness. And one thing I'm so excited about, before I get to Amari Cooper, is the fact that we finally have a coach that has command of clock management. I went back and looked at the history of Pete Carroll. And there's last year, I couldn't believe how many times I'm saying, wait a minute, call timeout and get the ball back. And what the, are you kidding me? So Pete Carroll's going to win games because of this clock management. The way I look at the Raiders, because you've known me a long time, and I've been a fan, I've been to games all throughout Oakland, LA, and Vegas, is the fact that this team, I could care less what the name is on the back of the jersey. I only care about the name on the front of the jersey. Once you're on, you're dead to me. Okay? Do I root for Raiders and other teams? Yes. I can't wait to see how Hunter Renfrow does this year because I love this kid. Okay? I rooted for Derek Carr when he went to New Orleans. Did I root for Devontae Adams? No. I'm like you, 'cause I don't like quitters. So if I could give any advice to the young Raider fans, it's two things. One, just think about the Raiders and not the name on the back of the uniform. And two, JT the Brick is dedicating this season, and I get a little emotional, to Raider Mort. And Raider Mort is a huge part of this organization. And if you live in Las Vegas like I do, and JT does, this team has been here for 6 years. 2020? We're going on the sixth season here. But they had a wonderful history in Oakland and a wonderful history in Los Angeles, twice in Oakland. And Raider Mort was a huge part of that history. Last thing I'll tell you, JT and Raider Mort, I believe, talked me off a cliff. The Tuck Rule game. JT, the poor guy, had to do the post-game show to that.
Yeah, I did.
That game?
And Mort did it with me. Mort did it with me. He helped me out on the Tuck Rule game. Raider Mort did. That's really good knowledge from you on that. No doubt. George Atkinson was at the game, and I had Raider Mort help me because I needed security. People were throwing bottles just in disgust at Ricky's. It was chaos. It was unbelievable.
Well, you helped me out. You helped thousands of fans, and I'm still not over that game. So let's go to New England on Sunday, give it to McDaniels, and let's settle all those Ichabod Crane ghosts that happened in 2001. Thanks. It's so good.
Take care, buddy. Good to hear from you. Thank you, Eric. Good to hear, man. Dust till dawn. Shucks. Covered the Raiders during the Gruden years, as Paulie would say. Good guy. Yeah, I did say that I'm personally dedicating the season to Raider Mort, my dear friend who passed away. He never missed a game. Never missed a game in Oakland. Went to every Super Bowl game for the Raiders. So that's just me. I'm dedicating the season, my energy and passion to Raider Mort. The monologue. Okay, we want to thank our newest partner, our newest one, because we got a lot of them back. Finley Volvo Cars of Las Vegas. It's on the Rainbow 215 exit. FinleyVolvo.com. Their new vehicles are amazing. And I'll have details on all of them. They got some hybrids, some SUVs that are unbelievable. I sat in a vehicle the other day. The stereo blew me away. Number one stereo as ranked in cars. And safety. Safety is the key. So, Mike, all he wants you to do is go over there. Tell him JT sent you. Go to Volvo on the 215 in Rainbow. Go check it out. Beautiful. Get a cup of coffee. Go walk around the showroom and see these gorgeous cars. Test drive one. And maybe you'll like it. If you're trading in a BMW, a Mercedes, an Audi, something else, maybe you'll try this because they're unbelievable vehicles. Vince Sapienza. Also, what we want to do is Chip Kelly speaking. That's coming up if it hasn't started yet. And when that happens, we're going to cut it up and turn it around because I'm sure Chip Kelly is going to address Amari Cooper, air quotes, retiring from the team. And we don't have much information until John Spytek or Pete Carroll speak about it. And you'll hear it here on the flagship, Raider Nation Radio.
Just like that.
What's that?
Just like that. The second you mentioned, on
Okay. All right. Why don't we have that queued up and we'll do that before Vince?
Okay.
And I'll tell Vince 35.
Okay. How long?
No, I just want to hear the first couple minutes so we know what's going on. So I'll let Vince know we're moving him back 5 minutes.
Okay, cool. So give me 35.
Yep. Yep. Is it Patrick Graham?
And then it's Chip Kelly.
Okay, because it's okay. Yeah, he knows it's 35.
Cool.
All right, guys, how we doing in the chat? Good to see people there. We should have 500 effing people here, not 132. Where are the Raider fans? No, that's good. That's a good number. That's yeah.
You're not on Twitter. That's where.
Yeah, that's a lot of them come in via Twitter.
No, the Twitter just it's not current.
Yeah.
That day of training, so we've been giving
This is what you need in the training.
kind of this week and what you guys are doing the last week that day of training. So we've been giving.
You got that queued up to the beginning, Bobby?
Right now.
Okay.
So we go against Graves and what he's going to do. So that part's different. Like, we've been preparing for scenarios that are going to occur in the game now. Since we're out of OTA, he's doing the same exact thing. So, but it is a different kind of and it counts. So
Yes, Raider Nation. What's that? Pawns, the ones that matter. Yeah, the ones that matter. But I'm in the business of building this. I want more people in here. We got a better show than anybody at this time anywhere. We want more people here. Okay.
I got
the game of football. He's the smarter guys I've ever been around.
I got Chip Kelly too.
Okay.
what he feels comfortable in, and that's what this deal is when we're going into these games. Is what do our players feel comfortable in? Because it really doesn't matter what we know because we're not playing the game.
And we'll play Patrick Graham in hour 2.
Feel in terms of the game plan, and he has a lot of input on it. So.
Jim Otto is our last one, our number 1 Raider draft pick of all time. Jim Otto.
That's a great question. I think you can see the game better from the booth, and I think you can feel the game better from the sideline. So, I think sometimes you can't tell that, hey, that corner looks like there's something wrong with him because he's in front of you and you're watching him.
Back to Bobby.
Looks like he's limping a little bit. You may not see it. It's a little bit more sanitized when you're up top. You're just kind of seeing how they're deployed. Is it 7-man spacing or 8-man spacing?
What do we got going on in the chat here? Legend, 00. Smash the like button, please. Okay.
Is he inside or outside? So I've always felt like that. I think you can see the game better from up top. I think you can feel the game better from
That?
So how much have you seen him grow just from
Yep.
how much you met him in OTAs to
Yeah, I'm going to write in my book. What's today's date? The 4th? Yeah, of course. 26 years. Okay. Bobby, I think what we're going to do on these caller sheets on the back of them, I'm going to write the live reads that I do, not to record for you to get, but just so I keep an eye on it. So we did PT's Volvo. Okay.
5 grades of cane I gotta get for her. I got the old Philly Volvo I gotta get for Ray.
Reserve your ride at MRide.com. Use promo code BRICK. That's MRide.com. Promo code
Alex JR doesn't want to hear about Sorry Cooper. Sorry Cooper.
He's not on our team no more.
He's not on my son said he's not on my team no more. That's fine.
Yeah. He's gone.
My son right here has been a Raider fan for 22 years. They haven't won in 22 years. My son
never saw a playoff win.
My son has never seen a playoff win, and he's a diehard Raider fan.
Your Android device from anywhere in Nevada. Sign up today and you will never miss another bet. With the largest wagering menu, the mobile sports app features same-game parlays, early cash out, and live in-play wagering on all major sports. For more information, official rules, and to see participating sign-up locations, visit williamhill.us. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Welcome back to the JT the Brick Show, brought to you by Tito's Handmade Vodka, America's original craft vodka. Visit Tito'sVodka.com. Over the next few weeks of summer, JT will look back at the most influential Raiders draft picks in the history of this storied franchise.
With the 13th pick, the Las Vegas Raiders select
the players only drafted by the Raiders who played in the most important games and also had lasting impacts on the NFL.
I did everything against a lot of these guys to be the best I could and give them a real pain in the neck. That's what I tried to do every time I played. I'm not the best there is, but I'll fight anybody that thinks they're better.
We are down to it. Our summer series comes to an end today. The Raiders' most influential and greatest draft picks of all time, and there's only number 1, and he's 00. The greatest Raider draft pick of all time, according to me, is Jim Otto. Pops, one of the greats of all time. The AFL draft, he came to the Raiders, ready for this? Undrafted to the Raiders. He came to the Raiders, and that was his only team, period. He's widely considered the greatest center of all time, right up there with Mike Webster. Came to the Raiders in 1960, their first ever player. He won an AFL championship. He was a first-team All-AFL, All-Pro, 10-year Pro Bowler, 3-time Pro Bowler when he got to the NFL seasons. He's on the AFL all-time team and the 100th anniversary all-time team. Pops, Jim Otto. We spent this summer, we gave you 38 players, 38 draft players. And there was some I left out. That was my bad. We had to do the games and all that. We left out Khalil Mack, Derek Carr. There were some guys that we left out. We were trying to get a certain group of players in here and some different ones who were valuable. They're all valuable. But we knew when we put this together that we'd have to have a top 10, and I wasn't comfortable ranking 10 to 2. Yeah. But we knew that the best of all time would be the original Mr. Raider, Jim Otto. So today, we put this to bed, our summer series. I thought it went reasonably well. We were running out of summer ideas. We tried this one, but I'm happy we completed it. It was like a task that we wanted to complete, and I feel great today going into this game that Jim Otto is the greatest and most influential Raider draft pick of all time. All right, Chip Kelly speaking. I'm just going to take a few minutes of this before we get Vince Sapienza up here. Here's Chip Kelly at headquarters.
Whole summer, everything to install, and now it's on the game planning. I guess how different is this week than what you guys have been doing the rest of the month?
Well, it's not much different the way Pete runs this. So, every day we have a situation, whether it be red zone, coming out, third down, something that's central to the theme of that day in training. So, we've been game planning. Obviously, we've been going against our defense in those situations, and now it's an opportunity to go against Rabes and what he's going to do. So that part's different. But we've been preparing for scenarios that are going to occur in the game all, since we got here. OTAs were based on the same exact thing. So, but it is a different opponent. And it counts. So that's the biggest thing that we're excited about.
Obviously, you expect the guys to get better and better and more well-versed with their playbook every day. How do you feel they are right now heading into week one?
They're doing great. I think part of it leads from Gino, because Gino's been around. He's played for a lot of coaches. He's been in the league for a while. There's been a lot of collaboration with him. He's got a great point of view in terms of the game of football. He's as smart a guy as I've ever been around playing the game. So, really excited about what he feels comfortable in, and that's what this deal is when we're going into these games, is what do our players feel comfortable in, because it really doesn't matter what we know, because we're not playing the game. It's really how does Gino feel in terms of the game plan, and he has a lot of input on it, and so we'll kind of roll from there.
For you as a coach, what's the difference feel being coaching on the sideline and coaching in the booth?
That's a great question. I think you can see the game better from the booth, and I think you can feel the game better from the sideline. So, I think sometimes you can't tell that, hey, that corner looks like there's something wrong with him because he's in front of you and you're watching him. He looks like he's limping a little bit. You may not see it. It's a little bit more sanitized when you're up top. You're just kind of seeing how they're deployed. Is it a 7-man spacing or 8-man spacing with the front? What are they playing coverage-wise? Are the corners playing inside leverage, outside leverage? Sometimes when you're on the field, you can't see the leverage of the corner on the other side. He looks like he's 6 or 7 yards off, but is he inside or outside? So I've always felt like that. I think you can see the game better from up top, but I think you can feel the game better from the field.
Coming strong this whole time since he's been here and carve out a starting role for himself. How much have you seen him grow just from the time that you met him in OTAs to now as you're getting ready for week one?
Yeah, I think he was a good product coming in, and obviously our personnel department, and really Pete was the guy that kind of fell in love with him watching the tape, and felt the same thing. As I said earlier, there aren't many people that tall and long that are that fast, but I've seen him really embrace every day, and just I don't think he was thinking about starting or anything. He was just thinking about coming here every day. He got in the building. Can I be a little bit better today than I was yesterday? And you saw him grow on a daily basis. Now, obviously, the next jump is he's played in 3 preseason games, but the preseason games and the regular season games are different. But, I expect, and I think he expects, and I think everybody here expects for him to play really well on Sunday, because we always believe that you're going to play on Sunday the way you trained, and I think he trains at a really high level right now.
Okay, that's just a small portion of Chip Kelly. The rest of it at Raiders.com, on Raiders social media. Vince Sapienza, our morning show host, kind enough to join us every other Thursday here in this slot. And no Amari Cooper. I know you had a morning show today and got off the show. A bit of a surprise today. And what do you think about that move?
JT, earlier on in the week, I said, man, it has been a relatively drama-free off season for the Silver and Black. What a nice, pleasant surprise. And then Jacoby is as vocal as he was yesterday. The Amari Cooper stuff within the last hour or so. Chip Kelly just stepped away from the podium, and he basically said that Amari called Pete this morning, said he was done. So he didn't even come into the facility today. He hung it up. And the reasoning, the motivation for Amari, I'm not going to pretend to know or pretend to say I have the answer, but what I do know is this: if you're not all in If you're not ready to go 10,000%, Pete Carroll is going to sniff it out very quickly. And I'm not saying that's what happened. I'm just saying you need to meet and match the energy of a Pete Carroll. And if Amari came in 8 days ago and realized he can't do that, then the Raiders are better off.
Yeah.
Quite simply.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I agree with you on that. Not to interrupt, because if you could tell this whole competition thing, he's got terrible body language. His body language is some of the worst I've ever seen. But it's unfortunate. I said the same thing about Christian Wilkins, Devontae Adams. These are all great players. They've all, Devontae was still in his prime. Christian Wilkins, 3-time Pro Bowler, very good player. Amari was past his prime, but I thought the Raiders brought him in for a reason, to be a critical player in a pressure-packed situation, and now he's gone. Next man up.
Yeah, I've said it on the show numerous times over the offseason. Amari Cooper was a name that always got brought up about bringing a veteran name to the wide receiver room. The name never made sense to me because it never seemed to match what I know of Pete Carroll. And that high energy, as you said, the body language of Amari Cooper has never been good. It was always a struggle to get a smile out of him. But, when he met with us last week up at the podium, he did look different. And again, I didn't cover him as extensively as you had. I had covered him last couple of years when he was in Oakland. But he did seem a little different than when I last covered him in Oakland. And so I was like, hey, maybe this is different. Maybe this is renewed. He kept saying unfinished business. He kept saying how he felt he left food on the table when he was here with the Raiders last time. And he wanted to kind of make amends for not, showing out as much as he would have hoped to, being a 4th overall draft pick. All of these things, it sounded great. It sounded fantastic. And again, I'm not going to pretend to know the motivation, but all I know is if you can't match the energy from the morning you wake up to the moment you leave the facility with a Pete Carroll, his staff, and what he's instilled in this organization in a very short time, it wasn't going to be a match, and you weren't going to last. And I think, it is what it is. That being said, from a football standpoint, the install for the game plan typically goes in Wednesday and Thursday, but I guess the good news, the silver lining, if you want to look at it, is he wasn't here for very long. He wasn't part of their plans in terms of a true game plan for very long. So what are they missing now that he's gone? I don't know how much. Chip Kelly just said, we hadn't even come to an agreement on if he was up or down, if he was going to be ready for week 1. I know he said in his presser he was going to be ready, but they had made no decision on it. I think the biggest thing is when you look at this wide receiver room, JT, and you add in Amari Cooper, right? There's a lot of excitement with Besh and Thornton Jr., Trey Tucker taking another step, and obviously Jacobe. But I think when you added Amari Cooper, you felt a lot more confident in the group as a whole.
Yeah.
Right? Because you don't know what you're going to get from the rookies. You just simply don't. You could have high expectations all you want, but you don't know what you're going to get out of them year 1. So I think it gave you comfort. You don't obviously have that now. And so now it goes back to, how are they going to go with the game day roster? And the thing that I guess bothers me about the situation is how much Amari said he wanted to help the young rookies, which is great. But Pete also mentioned yesterday how the addition of Amari was going to help the young rookies, how he was happy with their progress, but he thinks having a veteran, a crisp route runner, one of the best to do it in the last decade or so, was going to help them. And not having that now is a little bit of a setback. How this affects the team week 1 against the Patriots, whether they win or lose, I don't think it affects it one bit.
Yeah, we're wrapping it up with Vince Sapienza as we get out of here. At least Sterling will join us next. So the key to the game, you've been talking about it all week. The callers calling in. What do you think is going to be the X factor with the Raiders getting back on the plane, coming home with a W?
Well, I asked Pete Carroll point blank. I said, when you look at the New England Patriots tape, what jumps out to you? And the first thing he said was their rushing attack and the way they played bully ball. I think the difference, and Chip Kelly echoed it not even 10 minutes ago, saying the difference in the game and the outcome of the game is going to be how the Raiders' offensive line and how the defensive line handles their offensive and defensive line. I think that's where it starts. We can talk about Ashton and how excited we are for his debut. Brock Bowers, year 2, Geno's debut, and I think that's all warranted, and I think it's valid. But it all starts up front. Can this offensive line be cohesive enough early on and fast enough to play bully ball? Can the defensive line in that rotation not get pushed back? I think that's the biggest difference week one.
All right, my friend, have a good one. I will talk to you soon, real soon. I appreciate you doing this every other Thursday. You're a big part, not only the entire channel here, everything you do at Fox 5, and man, it would be nice. I told you when you came to the team, it'd be nice to win more than lose. It makes radio a little bit different, doesn't it? You're learning that now.
I learned it very quickly. Thanks, JT.
Take care. Vince Sapienza, Fox 5. Check him out in the morning with Clay and Vinny. That's brought to you by Tito's Handmade Vodka, the original craft vodka. It's one of the great American success stories. I love a good success story, and you know Tito's my go-to. It's made for the good stuff, for good times. You can find everything. Their website, what they do to help dogs, recipes, everything is at titosvodka.com. Distilled and bottled by fifth generation in Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume. Savor responsibly. Lee Sterling is next. All right, we are moving along. We are moving along. We are moving along. Salute to you, Jack and the Nation. Hunter, press the corners. No free releases. Press the corners. Well, if you want the Raider corners to press, good luck with that. You want Caillou Blue Kelly and Darian Porter in their first game pressing? I don't want anything behind our corners. I don't want anything getting behind those corners. I don't mind a soft coverage in this game. These guys haven't played. Caillou Blue Kelly, Darian Porter, Eric Stokes, a couple of starts under his belt. I'm not looking to see aggressive bump and run. We don't have a Willie Brown and a Mike Haynes on this team. Okay? So I don't mind if you want to play a little soft in this coverage, I'm fine with it this game. If they turn out that they're really good and better than I thought, great.
Hey Rebels, it's tailgate time. Whether you're rooting for the Rebels or just there for the tailgate vibes, fuel your crew.
Marshawn Lynch has got a lot of commercials.
Yeah.
A lot of commercials. Yes, the great Amari Cooper retired, which could be a code word for quit. But we don't know yet. We don't know yet.
Raising King's Chicken Fingers, official chicken fingers of the UNLV Rebels. Go Rebels. Hi, I'm Aaron Taylor, the real estate guy. At 15 years old, I was homeless with no guidance or education. I was sleeping in my car, scared and alone, wondering where my next meal would come from. An experience no child should ever endure. But I got through it, thanks to the generosity of thoughtful people just like you.
Peter Schrager at ESPN did not pick the Lions to make the playoffs. Didn't have them as a wild card or a division. Yeah, it is. He had the Commanders over the Lions as the wild card. Commanders went to the NFC Championship game.
It's a not great team. They had a good year. It's like Joe Burrow in that thing.
What's going on with that computer? Getting fixed?
It works.
Well, take it to AppleCare, man. Let's go.
I don't know if I got Apple.
Well, it doesn't matter. We got to pay more.
Cooperation with the Nevada Broadcasters Association and this station. This season, get in the game with the William Hill Pro Pick'em Football Contest. Just pick the winning teams, no point spreads, and take home your share of up to $1,210,000 in cash prizes. For a $25 entry fee, you'll be bidding for your share of $10,000 in weekly prizes. Finish with 215 season wins and get the $1 million cash bonus.
Eric's saying, how much is Jacobe Meyers worth, in my opinion? I think he's worth a 2-year extension, whatever the market is. What's the market on a 2-year extension? It's not Terry McLaurin.
Got 30. I'd probably give Jacoby 20. Jacoby's getting 10 million.
Probably give him 20 million more.
I'd give him 40 million for 2 years.
You give him 40 million for 2 years?
It's a bonus like 15. I don't know if he doesn't need $30 million.
All right, Lee Sterling joins us. I know Big D will be here keeping an eye on his picks.
Fremont Street doesn't throw concerts, it throws down. Downtown Rocks is back. Don't miss the next free show with Candlebox and Cracker, Saturday, September 6th, starting at 8 p.m. Only at Fremont Street Experience. No wristbands, no velvet ropes, no cover charges, just amps, adrenaline, and a street party with zero chill. See the full lineup at VegasExperience.com. Show up loud.
It's kickoff time, and PT's Taverns is your ultimate football headquarters. Catch every play, score serious prizes, and sip like a champ, because when you play with your True Rewards card, you get a scratch card, and everyone's a winner. We're talking drinks, grub, and Las Vegas football tickets. Oh, and happy hour, twice daily, half off all drinks, even the good shit. Yeah, we said it. PT's Taverns, where football lives, drinks flow, and every scratch card wins. Visit ptstaverns.com to find a tavern today.
Welcome back to the JT the Brick Show, brought to you by the DeCasta Verde Law Group. If you get injured in an accident, call 702-222-9999.
I've had 39 surgeries. I've had 28 knee surgeries. Both knees are artificial. I've had 8 artificial knees. We loved to play football. We beat the hell out of each other and had a great time doing it. At that particular time, I thought maybe I shouldn't have done it. But as soon as you heal up a little bit, you think, gosh, I'd do it again.
Jim Otto, our all-time number 1 greatest Raider draft pick coming in, and he just came to the Raiders. He played the whole career with the Raiders, brought to you by the DeCasta Verde Law Group. Alex and Orlando DeCasta Verde. If you get into an accident, I hope you don't. If you're injured, I hope you don't. Call them. They'll help you. 702-222-9999. Lee Sterling joins us from Paramount Sports. Lee, you know Jim Otto because he went to the U. He's one of the greatest players of all time, and he went to the U. How about that today?
Yeah, my dad, I think, started maybe a year or two after he left the U. My dad was, I don't know if we've ever talked about this, was the team dentist for the University of Miami for almost 30 years. So I met a lot of these guys when they would come in to get their mouthpieces the first day of camp. So I remember them all, from the Chuck Foremans to, to the Jim Kelly. So I have a lot of great memories, and he was certainly one of the best ever.
Lee Sterling's our guest, ParamountSports.com. It was a rough week for a lot of the Sharps. It was a tough college football week. We'll get right back at it. My son is on a plane. He's going to Oklahoma, where he graduated, got his degree. Oklahoma, Michigan, big boy football. Michigan's been kind of bending the rules. They've been bending the rules, and they didn't take the banner. And I know what Oklahoma does at home here, but the quarterback play for either team, especially Michigan, going with the young player here. How do you handicap this one? Oklahoma -5.
I had a feeling your son would be going back for this game, and they finally have a quarterback, John Mateer. I've watched him for a couple of years now. He plays best when the bright lights are on or against the better teams. I mean, he won the game by himself last year against Washington. He was it for them. He runs and throws. Now, Michigan, as you mentioned, going to go with the true freshman quarterback, Bryce Underwood. In my opinion, he's as good as advertised. Now, what they did in the first game is, I don't think that they opened the playbook. I think they didn't want to showcase what they were going to do here in this next game. He did not run once, and he's a very capable runner. They ended up getting Justice Haynes to come over from Alabama, and boy, did Alabama miss him. Game against New Mexico, had almost 160 yards, 3 touchdowns. OU won last week 35-3 against Illinois State, but only 103 rushing yards on 32 carries. Very concerning. I think Michigan's offensive line and defensive line, which dominated Ohio State in that last game of the year last year, might be the difference. I think Michigan's probably the right side here. Wrong team favored, 24-21.
Wow, going with Michigan over Oklahoma. Let's go to the NFL, where Denver is the popular pick by popular people this year. Everybody all of a sudden loves the Broncos now that they cleared out the Russell Wilson money and they're rebuilding the team. They got a lot of star players here. They're taking on the Titans. I tweeted out today for fun. Raiders are traveling cross country. The Chargers and the Kansas City Chiefs are traveling around the hemisphere to get to Brazil, and they give Denver the worst team in the league last year. How are we playing this? I see 7.5 and 8. Denver -8 at home against the Titans.
I think Sean Payton as a head coach and young protege Bo Nix are going to keep on getting on. These two are just really get each other and work well together. The strength of the team, though, is their defense. Nick Mineta, this guy is, no one knows about who he is. Sat next to his father at the Miami Notre Dame game, right next to him the entire game. No one knows about him. He had 13.5 sacks. He's going to be the next superstar. You can get him at 40-1 to win the defensive MVP. He's going to be all over the field. Cam Ward, great quarterback, but there's a reason why he's drafted first. And I just think that, preseason not going to show you what defenses are going to throw at this guy. Cam's great, but he's not going to be able to scramble around and run around for 5 or 6 seconds here. Denver in a big way here, 30-13.
Lee Sterling, Paramount Sports. Go to ParamountSports.com. He will help you. You need help when it comes to gambling. I promise you, I live in Vegas. I see a lot of hot dogs around here that don't win. They don't get over 45%. Go to Lee Sterling at ParamountSports.com. This Buffalo-Baltimore game is fascinating to me. So take me back to the offseason and the line and now how the line's moving. I see Buffalo, and then I see all of a sudden we're playing Buffalo at 1.5-1, and I know a lot of Raven fans are betting this game on the money line. I picked this as the AFC Championship game. I picked Buffalo to win the Super Bowl this year over the Green Bay Packers, and this is the last home opener in Buffalo at the old Rich Stadium.
Yeah, a lot of memories there. It opened up, I believe, in the early 70s, and it's going to be crazy there. So when I watched these two teams play twice last year, Baltimore is by far the best team. First game won 35-10. Now, I picked Buffalo game and their side in the playoff and just felt they were going to find a way, and sure enough, they did. Baltimore lost that game, and they had a chance to win, and they were -3 in turnover margin in that game. So, it was cold. It was slippery field. The conditions are going to be great. How lucky did Buffalo get during the regular season? +24 in turnover margin. Every single bounce that went their way. That's 1.5 times as good as the number 2 team's turnover margin. Twice as good as the number 3's team, which is Baltimore, which outgained them 7.3 yards per snap in that game they lost in the playoffs to the Bills, just 4.6 here. I think Buffalo might be the team in the playoffs, but I like Baltimore on a fast track here. Yep, 31-28.
Yeah, a lot of people are liking Baltimore now. Buffalo's not at 100% just yet with their health. Lee is on the side of Baltimore. And finally, your game of the week involves us here in Vegas, the Raiders. New England -2.5. Wow, what a game you have. I know the type of information you get. Tell our listeners how they can get this game. You got the Raider game as one of your picks, and you don't do that often here on this show. Tell us how to get it.
No, I've been studying, been watching a lot of tape, getting ready for this year. And first week was tough, even for me in college football, but seeing every team now feel good about it. I'm going to give them this game, the Patriots and Raiders, for free. Just call 800-400-9741. How about this? I'll even give them the game tonight also, the Cowboys and the Eagles. Both games on me. Just call 800-400-9741. Check out all the specials. ParamountSports.com.
You're the best, Lee. Talk to you next week. Thank you.
Thanks, JT.
Okay, Lee told you he had a rough week last week, or not a rough week. It was a down week for a lot of the handicappers. If you call him, he's going to give you the Raider game for free, and he's going to throw in the game tonight. Now you say, what is that? Well, he wants to do business with you. So if you win with him on these free bets, then maybe you call him back and you get his service. That's pretty simple how we do it here. 800-400-9741. We got a big final hour. Greg Bedard's going to join us from New England, one of the premier Patriot insiders. It's going to be a deep dive on the Patriots. If you're really into this game like we all are in Raider Nation, make sure you listen. And my weekly conversation with Pete Carroll, my first one. Please stick around for that.
The first Sunday night game of the year.
All right, man. I got time to be here on the chart. My son's heading to Oklahoma. Did he leave today? No. Bobby just went to get a dart to have a cigarette. He got an early cigarette yesterday. He got a cigarette at 12:30 yesterday. 12:30 he smoked a dart. Yes, thank you. My wife and I today, we're going to go to a late lunch for our anniversary. We have our 26th wedding anniversary. Last year was big. It was 25. So you guys are my friends. I can share you. We were going to go on a big summer vacation. We didn't do it. We paused, and we're going to do it next summer. So next summer, no matter what, hopefully, knock wood.
Their favorite spots in the chat.
Yeah, my favorite spot, Greece. Never been to Spain. I always love going back to Italy, man. I have no problem going back to Italy, but I will be checked out next summer for a couple of weeks. I'm not going to do what I did this summer. Well, I got away a lot this summer too, but in summer and radio, you got to take some time off. So next year we'll go on our trip. Yes, thank you. Huh?
Big D likes Maui.
Big D knows I go to Maui a lot, man. As a matter of fact, my Maui hookup where I stay for free is getting redone right on the beach there. And I love it right there on the resort corridor. Maui's probably my favorite place to go, other than my favorite place in the world is Florence, Italy. That's, but I haven't been to other places. I might say that about Mykonos or Santorini or other places. I'd like to go to Portugal because I watched the 100-foot wave. I love that documentary series, the 100-foot wave. There was a lot of Portugal in that. I'd like to go to Portugal. I've been to London 3 times. I've been to Paris twice. Been to Italy twice. I'd like to go back. I'd probably go back to Italy and Greece. Have not been to Spain. Never been to Spain. I have not been to Spain. London, home of the summer drizzle. All right. Did Patrick Graham speak? Yeah, I think we should play Patrick Graham.
Actually, yeah, I got the full person right here.
Okay.
It's only about 6.5. We could probably play both of them in this next segment before.
Yeah, I don't want to play 2. I'll get the phones going. There's no one on effing hold on the week of the game. Freaking lame. I will never stop bitching about phone calls not being great. Bobby, I think you'd probably, and other producers I've worked with, would probably wish I'd shut the hell up about calls not being great. It's not going to happen. I've been doing this 30 years. It's not going to happen. I'm going to bitch and moan every time I don't have 5 people on hold. Every time.
I gave up on that shit back.
I know you did.
I stopped,
Someday every phone line's going to be full, and I swear that's the day I'm going to quit. That's the day. I've been to Oklahoma, Fabian. My son is there. My oldest. He's there. My youngest is right here. I should. Unless you have it. There it is. I'll do Canes to lead off the hour. Got my read here.
Dropped out. I got it.
Welcome back to the JT the Brick Show, brought to you by Carroll's Pizzeria, home of the famous
What's that?
style brick oven pizza.
Las Vegas
Raiders football. Here we go.
Intercepted by the Raiders. Gets to the front of the end zone. Touchdown, Las Vegas Raiders. Dylan Lobby, man's looking right, pump face. He's going to go deep down the sideline. That'll be a touchdown. Cedric Jackson for the Las Vegas Raiders. Cam came through, looked off the coverage, hit him coming down the sideline. Gino in the shotgun, looking left and then back right to Dante to a quarter fade. He catches it at the end. Touchdown, Las Vegas Raiders. Dante fought right on the back shoulder, and the Raiders are on the board.
Here's your host, JT.
Yes, let's get it going. We got 2 more shows left. The 1 hour today, and we got 2 hours tomorrow. I want this place to be rocking. Raiders open at New England. I'll be on the pre- and post-game show. I've been doing the pre- and post-game, not consecutively. Some years I was on the sidelines. years when I was in LA. When we look back at my career, it started as the pre and post game host in 1998, the day John Gruden got hired. And now I'm able to anchor it again in 2025. I am blessed to have this opportunity. Our pregame show on Compass Media Networks will be Sunday at 8 a.m. Pacific time. Woo! I got to get up and drive from Summerlin to deep Henderson to get there early. Bobby will be here early. He runs the games. And then after the game, I'll be on the post-game show with my new teammate, my new partner, Lincoln Kennedy. How about that? I love that. That's going to be cool. Lincoln's going to be taking calls with me after the game. Usually I was just a lone ranger doing that. And then every Sunday night I'm on from 8 to 11 p.m. Oh, boy. And that's on Mad Dog Sports Radio. When the Raiders play early, it's good for me. When the Raiders play late, it's a little bit tight. But we get a chance to do that. My Sunday, Monday, and Tuesdays are pretty crazy. Then on Wednesday, Thursdays, I come up for air. Big announcement last night. I hosted my first podcast with Rod Woodson, the Hall of Famer. As of now, it's called the Rod Pod. I like that. Rod Woodson, one of the greatest players of all time. It's getting edited and cleaned up, and I hope you could put that into your podcast world. And every Wednesday, I'll be live on the Raiders YouTube channel from noon to 1. This hour is brought to you by Raising Cane's. Hey, Rebel fans, it's tailgate time. UCLA's in town. So right at kickoff, you halftime, post-game, if you're at home, if you're at the game, you bring the tailgate with you. No better way to be a Rebels fan than with the Cane's combo. We're talking ham-battered, cooked-to-order chicken fingers, crispy crinkle-cut fries, and the buttery Texas toast, and that signature cane sauce everybody's going to want at your tailgate. Throw in the fresh lemonade. You can mix a lot with that. Iced tea. You know what I'm talking about. We got your game day cravings covered. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers, official chicken fingers of the UNLV Running Rebels. UNLV, go Rebels. I'm excited. This is a big game. Running Rebels basketball, Rebels here in football. Go win the game. UNLV should have lost that first game. They didn't. We congratulate them for being 2-0. Arch Manning would love to be 2-0. He's 0-1. Dabo Sweeney would love to be 2-0. He's 0-1. So Dan Mullen's got to, this UCLA team, they're not very good. Get out there and support it. Mike in Staten, Italy, starting us off. He's a big gambler. Mikey, you got to play on this game tonight. The Cowboys are going into Philly without Micah Parsons.
Well, JT, you know every year I don't go heavy the first week of the year.
Yes.
Nobody has any idea. But what I said to you last week, I'm using $1 billion computer. I'm using Grok. I put it in there today. It says the Eagles lay the 8.5 and the over. The big reason they're giving is for the weakness of the Cowboys' defensive line to stop the run. They says it's a pretty solid pick. Again, I'm going to go sprinkle a little on the Eagles in the over tonight. JT, the NFL is the greatest sport. You don't know how good. You know, I love all these people saying, "Hey, this team's going to go 11-4. This team's going to go 2-15." You don't know until the season starts. Look at the Commanders last year. JT, very disheartening to wake up this morning to find out that we lost the receiver. It hurts, but everybody's been talking, yourself included, talking about the young rookie receiver. Well, let's throw him into the fire. Let's get him a big game. I took him in the 17th round in my fantasy draft because of you. Let's fire him up. Max Crosby is still the key, JT. We still win that game this Sunday.
Thank you, Mike. Appreciate it. That's big. I think the Raiders have to win this game. Thanks for the call. Max Crosby, Geno Smith, Brock Bowers, Ashton Genty, Michael Mayer, Jacobe Meyers. Let's go. Jeremy Chin, make a play. Go in and make a play. And if you're joining us late, two things we're doing today. We're paying tribute to Jim Otto as the number one, the distinctive number one greatest all-time Raider draft pick. He started his first game with the Raiders, never played for anybody else. He is numero uno, 00 pops. So if you want to get a call in on that, we'd appreciate it. And we're looking for your game plan for the game. And as we get out to Gangsta Raider, he called the other day talking about a blowout, which I do not agree with you because the Raiders haven't won in a blowout, and I don't remember how long, but I'll take a win. Give me the game plan for this game.
Well, what's up, y'all? Y'all ready for some football, and here's the game plan. The game plan is, first of all, we start off hitting them with the run because last year they couldn't stop the run. We make them prove they can stop the run. Once they start putting 8 in the box, we go over the top and introduce them to Deontay Thornton. You know what I'm saying? Then once they get worried about Thornton, we hit them with our tight ends. Then we come to Brock Bowers, Michael Myers show, and then the defense step up because the offensive line of the Patriots got 2 rookies on it. You know what I'm saying? So this should be Tyree Wilson coming out party, and Malcolm Kuntz going to be having a rookie too. Malcolm Kuntz and Tyree Wilson should eat up their rookies, so they shouldn't have enough time to get down the field. That's why I'm predicting they're only going to score 5 field goals. We should score 34 points. That's why I think we win 34-15. Now back to Butterfingers Cooper. Didn't I tell you when we signed him? I said he quit on us the first time and he didn't want to be a Raider. That's why I didn't want him to sign. Now look what happened. Keep it gangster, y'all. I'm gone.
Yeah, well, again, he was signed. We're not making up. We weren't saying to go out and sign Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper was signed and he retired. I don't know why he retired. That opens up a phone line for you, but I'll know pretty quickly. If he quit. There's a difference between retiring and quitting. So it's one of the two things he did. Either he retired because he just felt like he couldn't go, or he got soft and he didn't want to show up to work and he not called in sick and said, I'm done. That would be quitting. I don't have the answer. I don't know if Q has the answer. Q was there today. He's coming up next. He's got great opinions. But Amari's not the type of guy who's going to do a podcast. He's not going to sit down on a podcast with someone and talk about it. But he fooled everybody at that press conference, Bobby. I'm not at every presser. He was there in front of our esteemed media, and we got good members of the media. I'm not being a wise ass. We got Vinny. We got Q. We got people there that know what they're doing, asking questions. And Amari Cooper, yeah, I want to be a leader. Yeah, I want to help. Yeah, I want to end on a high note. Yeah, I want to be a Raider. What happened? He's not a Raider. So that's it. All right, Patrick Graham spoke. This is big because now he's the defensive coordinator under Pete Carroll, and the defense has got to be ready to go. We know that the secondary's young. Here's what Patrick Graham said.
Preparing for this week, anything you know about this McDaniels guy running offense? Absolutely. He's one of the best competitors I've ever been around, one of the smartest coaches I've ever been around. Understands all 3 facets of the game. Appreciative of him bringing me out here when he brought me out here, and then the things I learned from him. He's a great football coach, better person, has a great family, and just happy to see him coaching again because, I mean, the guy could coach ball. He could coach ball.
How different is week 1 preparation when you don't have as much game film to go on with the personnel they have compared to maybe later on in the season?
It's different, but each week is the biggest thing about our league is you got to know the people. So again, aside from a rookie, but even then you got to look at his college tape and try to have an idea. They have the 2 guys over there on our defensive right. You just watch some of their college tape and some of the preseason just to get a feel for them. But it's about the people. They have the backs that get into the scheme and everything. Each week you got to talk about the people and try to anticipate how they're going to utilize those guys. So that part's similar. What exactly they're going to do, who knows? But the people are the people.
Speaking of the people, your secondary is a young secondary. How do you use maybe the veterans in the safety room and the linebacker room to kind of help them and bring them along?
The next interview, which is the guy that
experience and all that stuff, it gets overrated to a certain degree. It's about how we perform on Sunday and then how we build to that performance in practice. So whether it's a rookie, a vet, doesn't matter. It's about how we prepare and then how we perform on Sundays. So, but I'm sure the vets, they're able to help some of the young players in terms of stuff they anticipate. But all that stuff gets overrated, in my opinion. I've had really good rookies that played really well their first game. I had veterans that played bad in their first game of the season. So it doesn't matter.
Communication.
Everything's communication.
You don't want it, or Robert doesn't want it?
I can't harp on that enough. Based on what the Patriots are going to do, that's going to be big.
Really like that. My wife
based on what we're doing defensively, we got to communicate. That's something that's common, no matter what.
Curiosity level, these numbers for every team across the league. But do you have a feeling of what you think that especially that young secondary is all about, what they're going to do?
I think that a lot of times they take the shape of their coach or the mold, like how the coaches mold them. And then, like for us with the secondary, you have Pete heavily involved, you have Joe and Emrob heavily involved. And the thing I'm looking forward to is to see a level of toughness, because the men that are leading them, there's a level of toughness. So I'm looking forward to that. And you know, with Josh's offense, they're going to run the ball and we're going to have to tackle. So we'll find out. You know, but again, the feeling, I'm trying not to do this based on feelings. It's based on how they're performing in practice, because practice is everything. But I want to see a level of toughness, get off of blocks, tackle their ball carriers, tackle the receivers. That's what we're looking for. That's a signature of all the defenses coach has had in his career. So that's what I'm looking for.
And OTAs did not win this game.
And Malcolm's been steady, you know, steadily improving, getting more and more comfortable. And the explosion's there, the power's there, the confidence is growing. You know, I was happy to see that sack in the preseason. That was encouraging there. So pretty happy with where he's at, and really happy about him being able to play on first week of the season.
What has impressed you with Thomas Booker's season, right?
T-Book? I mean, he's smart. You know, I always tease the Stanford guys. That would have been a safety school for me back in the day. I just tease them. Now, my position coach from college informed me I would not be able to get into either one of those schools right now based on my grades. But smart player, really strong, plays with good balance, and his hands come straight from the ground up. That's all encouraging right there. But someone I enjoy talking football to, because he could, you know, really, he could digest it and spit it back to you, and does a good job communicating.
Does Drake May provide?
I mean, again, he has, let's start with the arm talent. He has access to the whole field. He could throw the ball wherever. And then I would tell you that in terms of what I'm seeing, in terms of getting in and out of checks, he has an understanding of what they're trying to do. Again, that's one of the more dangerous things that a quarterback could have, the ability to get him in the right play. And he can move his feet in the pocket. So, you know, we got to do a good job of keeping him contained, make him play from within the well. But, I mean, he's a solid player overall.
What threat do you think he is as a runner?
Oh, yeah, I mean, it's legitimate. He was like second most in terms of yards, 476. Don't quote me on the number, but, you know, I try to keep up to the stats and stuff. But, like, I mean, this guy, he's a dangerous runner, not just as a runner, but also as a when he scrambles to throw the ball. Because, again, he has the arm talent to get the ball anywhere on the field. So that's a problem.
For you, Coach, what's the difference between being in the booth and being on the field like right now?
You know, for me, I've done both. You know, so and now I'm like in year 6 or 7 of being a coordinator, so it's a lot more comfortable doing it. One is you get the vibe of the game a little bit more, get to talk to the players directly, not having to go through somebody.
1 minute.
My eyes are trained to be able to see it, so that's okay, you know, but obviously when you're up top, it's just a little bit clearer, it's a little bit calmer. I have a Coke in my hand, you know, Diet Coke in my hand. Okay, I don't. It's a real Coke. I'm sorry. It's a real Coke in my hand. I could have a Snickers in between. I mean, none of that stuff is happening. And if I do, they'll catch me on camera. And I got to be mindful of my language because my parents are watching and they can lip read. So that's the difference.
You know, two guys you guys brought in for the defense with Devin White and Jeremy Chin this season. What did you see from them heading into the season? What's your expectations for those two guys?
Physicality, speed, intelligence. And I gained the information on the intelligence when I met them. But they're two guys I've used as teach tapes over my career in terms of showing like good linebacker play with Devin, in terms of with Chin showing versatility because he's been moved around all over the place and understanding that. So with those guys, everything that I thought about them, they've shown, and I'm looking forward to seeing it come to fruition on Sunday.
All right, Patrick Graham, how about that? You want to hear the coach more than me? You got it. That's what we do on flagship stations. If we were across the hall, we wouldn't play old Patrick Graham, but we're on the flagship station, and when the coach speaks, if it's on during my slot or right before, you'll hear it. And you heard from Patrick Graham. I like what he called Stanford a safety school because he went to Yale. So he's a sharp guy. This is an important year for Patrick Graham. He was so close to being a head coach. And Jacksonville was close. They went with Liam Cohn, who said Duval. And I don't know, they needed an offensive guy to fix Trevor Lawrence more than a defensive coach. But I think next year in the cycle, if the Raiders do well, and I hope and I anticipate the Raiders are going to do well, Patrick Graham will be a head coach next year. He's had all the interviews. He's done them all. He's got a lot of friends in the league. He's a really good players coach. he should be up next. So that's where we're at. That was brought to you by our friends at Virgin Hotels, Las Vegas. Thursday nights are typically the night I go see John O'Donnell, J-O-D, over at Virgin at One Steak. You sit at the bar, he brings you out a menu, and then he starts entertaining, and then celebrities show up. Because J.O.D. is one of the greatest bartenders in Vegas history, formerly of Nine Steakhouse. He brought the business to Virgin, so he makes a great cocktail. He makes everything that you like as good as anybody else. And then when you're done, you can get a ticket at the sports book. You can watch some games. You could go roll some craps. You can play blackjack. You can go see live music. You can do it all at Virgin Hotels Las Vegas. Proud partner of the show. Okay, when we come back, here's what we got coming up. We're going to take your phone calls the rest of the way because I want intense Raider fans. We don't have any intense Raider fans on hold. I don't know why. If you're waiting for the next show, great. I'm on for another 40 minutes. Let's go. Let's hear what you have to say. Greg Bedard will join us coming up. I don't know of a better guy other than the guy I had on yesterday, Tom Curran. I got the two best New England insiders, been doing it longer than anybody. He's going to tell you what you need to know for this game. So with all the fluff, we want the Raiders to win. We're happy for the Raiders. I'm talking to the head coach. I want to talk to people behind enemy lines, as we say in radio, to find out what they're thinking, to find out if they believe the Raiders are for real. Maybe they think the Raiders are an easy win on their schedule. I don't know. But last year, both the Raiders and the Patriots won 4 games. That's not good. No. And Mike Vrabel was brought in to change that, and Pete Carroll was brought in to change that. And then the breaking news today, Amari Cooper retired. He informed the team that he was done. There's more meat on the bone with that one, I can promise you. I'll try to find out. You got the insiders who are going to tell you. But did Amari Cooper retire or quit? That's all we need to know. And he better tell us, because Raider Nation don't like quitters, especially a couple of days before the plane takes off. All right? That's another really important thing. Every rep that Amari Cooper got, every single ball thrown to him could have been thrown to someone else in practice. That's important. And yeah, that is important, no doubt. And they had to cut down a roster, and then they had to go let someone go for Amari Cooper. So we got to figure out what happened here, and we'll get it. Yes, people are on the chat, and they're going nuts. Thanks, all the bricklayers. You can find us on YouTube. Like it, please share it, and let us know what you think. We really appreciate that. When we come back, Greg Bedard at the bottom of the hour, he'll tell you everything you need to know. I mean, everything you need to know. Christian Gonzalez, their second-team all-pro corner, might not play, or might he? That's pretty important. We'll find out next on Raider Nation Radio. Thank you, everybody. We appreciate you. We appreciate you. Thank you. Friday show tomorrow. It'll be great. Raider Roll Call, where we'll hear from Raider fans all over the country, including you.